Bonjour and welcome to the 2026 Boys Forward Band of Chippewa State of the Band Address. Miigwech Makade Benesi. Nindij Dakas Miranda Lilia, Migizi Nindudem. My name is Miranda Lilia, and I am Eagle Clan. Since November 2024, I've had the honor of serving as your executive director. Tonight it is my privilege to welcome our elders, band members, friends, family, community, and everyone joining us here in person as well as online. We are going to begin with an invocation by Jalen Strong, followed by two songs from Makade Benesi.
Bonjour Monidug, Beba Mashin Indigu, speaking as I gun Dujabat, Magizi and Dudem, Monidug, Gi Minagu, we Sema, Je Tabato Dan, we Waj Asia Chikewa, the way in the Schnabeg, Minawa Ogimog, Monidug, like a Bizin Shin, like a Minawa Bizin Dawar, way Dewe Gun, Makade Benesi, Asian Akazod. How we ke minotag we nekumowad how manidug wabanung jawanung ngabinung giwedanung taga ambe ji gonna wabble mawad away national begoma ke we when needs to go with be Ajay Giwe Oa the way Nashnabeg, how many dug Mioma Mijigwa Ogimag Ga Tabato Don Gaji Chikewa the way Nashnabeg Zagwaka Kwan Doganini Wug tribal government Asian Akazo one oh me which one you dug me sigo ge Ashamiguwa the way ge Wisini Egg, where Mishnabig, Misa Minik, Mew. So just as a kind of a translation, I guess a little bit of what I said is, I was offered this tobacco. I was asked to come here today to talk about what we're going to be talking about, and then asking the spirits to come and listen to our Anishinaabe people that are here today, and I wanted to make sure that they come in and kind of watch over us and have that kind of pity for us. They come listen to our songs, and when they sing those songs, we're asking those spirits to come on in and listen to them, because they are really good singers. Is kind of one of the things I was saying, and I want our leaders to be able to come up whenever they do come up and be able to tell you guys what we've been able to accomplish within this last year, and hopefully what we can do within this next year. And then the last thing was kind of talking about the food that's going to be served tonight, and just said that when we eat, they're also going to be eating. That ashamegu is that returning of that food to those people, and then while we eat, they're also eating with us. So I was kind of make the joke that this is ceremony food, so these calories don't count. Eat up. Good.
Uju, welcome. Miigwech Jalen Strong and Mukaday Benesi. To share a little bit about myself with you to start our program, I grew up here on the Boys Fort Reservation and continue to live here this day. I worked throughout most of my adult life for the tribal government, and I served the band in various ways, in various roles, including Health and Human Services, Human Resources, and Judicial Services. I am the daughter of the late David Fox Villebren and Edith Villebren. My family includes my husband, Tim, our 3 children, Kristen, Timothy, and Angeline, and our twin grandsons, Asher and Andrew. I am also the sister of Dave and John Villebren. So I have a question for everyone here today. Were you able to grab our new resource guide while visiting the booths today? Yes? So if you haven't, this is what the resource guide looks like. And was developed by our 477 program, and within the resource guide is a ton of information about the tribal government. It's the programs, the contact information, the staff. So if you would like one of these resource guides, please raise your hand. We will be getting them to you. So one of the things since becoming the executive director, we are trying as a tribal government to increase communication. So I hope a lot of you today filled out the communication survey when you registered, because taking that data, that will help us to determine how best to get the information out to you. We know our elders and our older friends and families, they like the newspaper. They love it. My daughter, who is 20 something, she wants a text. She wants social media. She doesn't even have a printer in her office. And I'm like, how do you not have a printer in your office? But everything is online for her. Everything is electronic. So we are hoping to be able to take your answers from our communication survey today and better tailor our information and get it out to you, our band members, our community members. So take this in here, like I said, is a ton of contact information, emails, work phones. We're hoping to possibly print this in a smaller version, like a purse size, a man bag size. So a what? A purse? So thank you for that. Now I would like to ask, we'd like to recognize some of our distinguished visitors and guests. So at this time, I will ask all of our elders, if you are able to please stand, and if you're not able to stand, please raise your hand and give us all a wave so we can acknowledge you. What's that? Oh, my goodness.
You reported to the police and how come they don't follow up with it?
I'm not sure. I will check in with you after.
Thank you.
Next, I would like to ask all previous tribal council members to please either stand or wave so we may honor you. Thank you all for your service to our band or your previous service to our band. And finally, I ask all of our veterans, please stand or wave your hand so we may thank you for your service. Oh, that just hits me right here. To begin our program, I'm going to introduce a few members of our senior management to you. And then between each council member address, I will introduce a few more. And so when they're, oh, here's our agenda. When their information comes up, there'll be their contact information will be on there. So if you want to snap a picture, you want to write it down, we'll have our contact information for our senior managers for you. So first, and although she's not here to join us today, oh, that's me. She is here. First, Vondalee Carr is not able to join us today. She's on vacation. She is the director of our 477 program. And again, the 477 program developed the resource guide today. So I hope you find that especially helpful, to contact the programs and services you need to in the future. When I announce your name, senior management, please stand and wave so we can let everybody know who you are. Next, we have Kim Greiner. Kim is our Chief Financial Officer. I don't believe the next person is here, but next we have Travis Baki. And Travis is our Boys and Girls Club Chief Executive Officer. The next person we have is Barb Rodine. Barb Rodine is our Internal Compliance Director. So now we'll begin with our Tribal Council addresses to you. And first, please welcome Robert Moyer. Robert is our District 2 representative and our Vice Chairperson.
All right. Damn cameras. I see. Bear with me. I'm not the greatest at this stuff, but I'll try my best here, people. All right. Miigwech for being here today. Seeing all you gathered here just reminds me of what this work is all about and what we all stand for here in Boysport. And that is working together, getting all our band members the information, the support, the connection they deserve. When we show up for one another like this, we strengthen our community and our future. I also want to take a moment to express deep appreciation for our employees who keep the band moving forward every single day. To the teams at Fortune Bay Resort Casino, Ishkade, the Y Store, C Store, KBFT radio station. Miigwech, to all your dedication, your professionalism, and the pride you bring to your work. You represent us to the public. You serve our members and you help sustain the economic growth that supports our band. And to all our Boysport tribal government employees, you know who you all are. Everybody, they are what does everything for us, and they make me the person I am. And I just love that support we have from our employees. From every department, thank you for your continuous hard work and commitment to the people of Boysport. Whether you're on the front lines or behind the scenes, your efforts make a real difference in the lives of our families, our elders, and our youth. Your dedication is the backbone of this reservation. These past few years have brought important progress across the band. We opened Ishkade. We're creating new economic opportunities for our people. We've launched a new food shelf here in Vermilion. We've expanded services in Duluth, Minneapolis, which has brought 2 housing resource case managers to support members living off reservation. We have also launched a pilot program for young adults, providing direct cash support to help them move towards their goals. Our carbon credit program continues to grow, and we remain firmly committed to clean water to protect our natural resources and defend our sovereignty for future generations. Sorry, I was trying not to do the stuff, but all right. I will remain committed to strong relationships with our federal, state, local, our tribal nations, our First Nations in Canada, our relatives, help in these partnerships and to help protect our sovereignty, bring resources to our people, and ensure the voice of Boysport is respected at every level. I'm hoping for the future, and I will continue working to bring forward equal representation for all our band members to have an equal vote. And I'll be advocating for an at-large position that would just equal everybody out to the same vote and to support a growing industry with our cannabis. I'd like to say a special thank you to my daughter, my Hayden. By Sarah. My family, my friends, our community, for all your support. Your encouragement means so much to me. I could not do this without all of you. Thank you.
Miigwech Robert. Next, I'll introduce 4 more of our senior management before our next council address. First, we have Chris Holm. Chris is our Natural Resources Director. I don't see Chris in attendance. Next is Teresa Isham. There's Teresa. Teresa is our Emergency Preparedness Specialist. Next is Amy Mason, our Energy Director. And I know this person isn't in attendance, but Dan Rabideau is our Health and Human Services Chief Executive Officer. Dan is leaving us shortly, so if any of you are interested or you know anybody interested in becoming a Health and Human Services Director, the position is open. Please welcome Janelle Gogolai, our District 1 representative.
Well, I'm not as techie as the rest of the council, so mine is on the old time paper. But good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the 2026 State of the Band address. I was elected to fill a vacant District 1 representative position for Bois Forte beginning on November 7th of 2025. Although I have only served on the tribal council for 4 months, I've been working on becoming familiar with the current programs and enterprises that we have and learning about what services we are able to provide to our band members, as well as looking for ways that we may improve upon the services. I have been attending many meetings on various topics, either virtually or in person. I continue to work on improving communication with the other members of the tribal council, our senior management staff, and the enterprise staff, and with our band members. My presentation that I'm going to do today is going to be a little bit different than the rest of the tribal council. And the reason for that is I don't feel that the accomplishments that we've made to this point, like I've contributed to those, I guess is what I'm trying to say, because I just got here 4 months ago, 4 months ago today, actually. So what I've chosen to talk about today are 2 topics that I feel should be a high priority for our Bois Forte band. The first thing that I want to talk about is a strategic plan. And our current strategic plan will end in 2027. So planning and developing the next 5-year strategic plan for 2028 to 2033 will need to be started soon. This will give us time to share the approved plan with the different departments and our Bois Forte band members so that everyone is aware of what the goals are going to be for the next 5 years. An approved strategic plan is crucial for tribal governments for the following 6 reasons. It aligns tribal leaders, members, and departments around common long-term goals. It acts as a guide for budgeting, ensuring financial and human resources are used efficiently to meet goals. It enables proactive, informed decision-making rather than reactive, crisis-driven management. It helps integrate traditional knowledge, values, and community needs into future planning. An official approved plan demonstrates stability to federal agencies and investors. It helps identify competitive advantages and new economic opportunities for the tribe. The other topic that I want to talk about today is our annual audits. Some of you may have attended the financial session that was held, I think it was in the executive room, and may already have some of this information, but I feel that I want to put the information out just so that everybody's on the same page. Right now, Bois Forte has not completed and submitted audits for fiscal year 23 and 24. These are delinquent, but we have a proposed plan to get these delinquent audits finished. And what that's going to be is for the fiscal year 23 audit, staff are working right now with auditors to get the information that the auditors have requested. This audit needs to be completed prior to beginning the 2024 audit. For fiscal year 2024, staff have been working on supporting documents and schedules while they wait for the auditors to make their selections. The target date to have the 2024 audit complete will be September 30, 2026. For fiscal year 2025, the audit will be due on June 30, 2026, and staff are expected to have that complete and submitted by December 31, 2026. For fiscal year 2026, this audit will not be due until June 30, 2027. The staff are anticipating there will be more work on this audit as we have changed systems during the year. We currently have a new software system that went live on March 1st. But with the new system, I think we should be able to get these audits submitted on time. Getting these audits completed and submitted on time needs to be a priority, as failure to conduct proper audits can lead to significant issues. Annual audits are critical for tribal programs for the following 5 reasons. Audits verify that tribal programs are adhering to strict laws, regulations, and grant agreements, such as the Single Audit Act. They ensure that financial statements are accurate, assets are protected, and funds are used for their intended purposes. Clean audits are necessary to maintain trust with grantors and ensure the continued flow of funding. Audits identify risks, management, and areas where internal controls can be strengthened. And an annual review allows tribal leadership to demonstrate accountability for tribal resources to their constituents. One of my values that I have is being truthful, and I also believe in transparency. And I think, to me, transparency means talking about the positive things, but also talking about, the not so negative things. Thank you. So I will. What? Oh, I can do right from wrong. I know what right from wrong is. I can do that too. So I will continue to ask questions and ask for clarification on the different topics so that I am able to make informed decisions that affect all of the Williamsport band members. Miigwech.
Miigwech, Janelle. Next, for our senior management, we have Jalen Strong, our Heritage Center Director. The newest member of our senior management team is Teresa Terry Drift, and she is our new housing director. Simona Benner is our human resources director. And Randy Long in the back is our information technology director. Next, we will have Shane Drift, our District 1 representative.
Hi, before I begin, what I'd like to do, if you'll indulge me on this, is take a picture of you guys in here. So I want this side of the room to move over here. Okay. Thank you. Oh, bonjour. As conhecem que é bebama sa digital cause. As sabi ko na sa aga iganing ang doon ba adik doon dan. Bagi at go ninata initial be mo win. Good afternoon. My name is Shane Drift. I am the District 1 representative. I'd like to welcome you, the Boys Fort band members, tribal council members, honorable dignitaries, and invited guests to the 2026 Boys Fort State of the Band. I'd like to say thank you to the Boys Fort Tribal Council, Carlos Hernandez, Tribal Chairman, Tara Gizik, Secretary Treasurer, Janelle Gogolai, District 1 Representative, Robert Moyer, District 2 Representative, and our Executive Director, Miranda Lilia. Also, thank you to Jeff Holt, our Tribal Attorney, Reed LeBeau, our Tribal Lobbyist, Nikki Irvin, and Regina Howe, our Executive Assistants. Also, thank you to the Fortune Bay Resort Casino event staff. You did an awesome job with setting up the ballroom for the 2026 State of the Band. Also, thank you to Fortune Bay Resort Casino for hosting the 2026 Boys Fort State of the Band. Thank you to our IT department, Randy, Eddie, and crew for setting up and broadcasting the 2026 Boys Fort State of the Band. Shimigrats to Jalen Strong for the opening prayer. Shimigrats to our singers for singing those beautiful songs. Shimigrats to our veterans. I would like to say a special thank you to our tribal government employees for all your hard work, long hours, dedication, and service that you provide to our band members. I'd also like to say a special thank you to our Fortune Bay Resort Casino and Enterprise employees for all your hard work, long hours, dedication, and good customer service. I would like to acknowledge and also say thank you to our Boys Fort ambulance personnel, fire department, BIA officers, or ambulance and fire, Greenwood Fire, and Tower Ambulance for being there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You guys are awesome. Now, before I begin my speech, I'll share a humorous story with you. I know Jeff has that uh-oh look on his face. As after Janelle Gogolai was sworn in as the new District 1 representative, the tribal council had to take some pictures. And when you come into the tribal government center, you will see the tribal council picture hanging up on a wall. You will see Chairman Hernandez standing in the middle with the rest of the tribal council, 4 members' foreheads in the picture. My forehead is the second one to the right. Now, that's an inside joke with the tribal council because we like to tease each other because Carlos is so tall and the rest of us are so short. So. Now, on to my speech. We sure have been through a lot these past 4 years. With the way things have been going over the last few months, it has been heartbreaking. The uncertainty that we face as a nation is very worrisome. The challenges we face as a tribe has been quite challenging. The challenges that I welcome wholeheartedly. In the last 8 years, we have overcome a lot of challenges together. From government shutdowns, COVID-19, Minnesota state budget cuts, behind on our audits, and now what is happening in Iran. However, we need to continue moving forward as best as we can. We as Bois Forte must strive to become more self-sufficient financially. There will be a day when Bois Forte is no longer dependent upon federal and state grants. Not only is this achievable, but it can become a reality. We need to work towards becoming more self-sufficient financially. I have always been in favor and in strong support of Bois Forte getting into the cannabis business. The cannabis market is a unique opportunity for Bois Forte with various avenues to pursue. If we at Bois Forte do things the right way regarding the cannabis market, this would be a huge game changer for our reservation and our future. With that being said, the tribe's dispensary, Ushkade, has been open for over a year now. The 1-year anniversary was this past Saturday, February 28, 2026. I'd like to say Chibigwetch to Paxton and the Ushkade staff for all their hard work, long hours, and dedication in making Ushkade successful. Also, Chibigwetch to Sadie Whitebird. She played a huge part in making Ushkade successful, as well as our tribal attorney. Thank you to the tribal council and the rest of our team, players that helped make Ushkade a reality and a success. A while back, the tribal council and other staff members attended a meeting regarding a cannabis growing facility. The cost that was presented to the tribal council was enormous. And as the District 1 representative, I knew that we didn't have the money to pursue that cannabis growing facility. We had a business approach the tribal council and present growing pods to the tribal council. I was very much in favor of buying these growing pods because the growing pods were not that expensive. Secondly, the growing pods could have been set up in such a short time frame. Third, Bois Forte would have had its cannabis products. This would have lowered prices at Ushkade while increasing the profit margin. Fourth, the tribe would have had revenue coming in. The tribe missed out on this opportunity. However, we still have an opportunity to get into the cannabis market. And that opportunity is a cannabis growing facility. Yes, I know it's late in the game. Yes, I know Bois Forte is always one of the last ones to do something. This opportunity has so much potential for us. I am still very much in support of pursuing our own growing facility. If the tribe does decide to go into a partnership with a business or investors regarding our growing facility, the tribe should own at least 51% of this business. This way, the tribe has controlling interest in the business. Anything less would not be in the tribe's best interest. I am also in favor of Bois Forte having its own cannabis testing facility. With our own testing facility, the tribe would not have to wait on the state to test our products. We could keep going, keep moving, keep the products moving. I am also very much in favor of buying cannabis from our own band members. This would create income for our band members as well as increase the profit margin for Ushkade. Now, when the tribe starts building a growing facility, the tribe needs to look at various cities to put a dispensary at. Whether it be the cities, Rochester, Brainerd, Bemidji, wherever. Once the revenue starts rolling in from the cannabis business, I am in strong support of giving out payments to our band members from the cannabis business under the general welfare rule. Bois Forte also needs to continue to build financial reserves from the cannabis business. I'm also in strong support of Bois Forte putting money away or putting money into the scholarship fund from the cannabis businesses. We have various band members going to college, trade schools, paid apprenticeships, and professional certifications. We need to continue to invest in our band members and their futures. When I first got on tribal council back in 2018, the council at that time was talking about paying off the Y-Star loan as quickly as possible and putting that land into trust. I have been in favor of that. That was not my idea, but I supported that because it made sense. I have been pushing for the tribe to pay off the Y-Star loan. I'm happy to report that the Y-Star loan will be paid off. Once the loan is paid off, the tribe can start the process of putting the land into trust. I asked our tribal attorney when we were in a meeting how long this process would take. And we were informed that it would take up to about a year. Now, when it comes to our language, culture, and traditions, I support it 110%. Excuse me. I have been pushing for the tribe to build a traditional roundhouse at Net Lake. An elder knew that I was pushing for a traditional roundhouse at Net Lake. She reached out to me through Messenger. And she said to make sure that the center part of the floor in the roundhouse can be taken out so that a shaken tent could be put up. And I know how valuable a shaken tent is to us as Anishinaabe people. So I brought that up and I stressed the importance of this happening should Bois Forte get a roundhouse. The tribal council needs to do anything and everything it can do to ensure that the tribe has more fluent speakers over the next 10 years. Bois Forte also needs to continue preserving our language, culture, traditions, and teachings for our band members and future generations. I have always been in favor of creating jobs for individuals to learn the language, culture, teachings, and traditions, basically paying them to be an Indian. This would ensure that our language and culture, traditions, and teachings continue on in that avenue. A few years ago, I, along with other council members, pushed for the increase to our 1854 treaty payments. Our band members received an increase to the 1854 treaty payments. Sadly, those payment increases were not approved by the state last year. However, I will continue to push to establish another increase to our 1854 treaty payments, and I will also push to make those payment increases permanent. I am in strong support of Boyce Ford being part of the Helium project. If this project does go through, Boyce Ford is part of that project, the money that comes from this project will be unrestricted, meaning Boyce Ford could do what it wants with the money. And I posted this on my group page numerous times, that I am in strong support of providing helium payments from the monies that the tribe receives and give those payments to the band members. I'm still very much in favor of doing that. I have been pushing to get our sacred sites listed and protected. I recently learned that our people were holding Medewan ceremonies up by Rainy Lake. Also, that some of our people were staying in the Hibbing and Chisholm area long before it was Hibbing and Chisholm. The Chisholm and Hibbing area is part of our origin story and how our people arrived on that lake. With that being said, I've been pushing to get our 1866 treaty rights established. The 1866 treaty does not grant us rights to hunt, fish, and gather, but the 1866 treaty does not take away those rights either. The 1866 treaty rights are in limbo. Upon my research into the 1866 treaty area, I found out that we had band members living up by Rainy Lake, Crane Lake, and the surrounding area well before the 1866 treaty was signed, and they continued to live there well after the 1866 treaty was signed. They continued to hunt, fish, and gather like they normally did, because that's how they understood the 1866 treaty. I have always liked the following phrase: we need to plan for the next 7 generations. I have been putting that phrase into action as the District 1 representative. The key word being action. Action. Not leaving it as talk. Now, when you look at the 1854 treaty area, we only have about 20% left of the treaty area. The 1854 treaty area is being developed at a fast pace. You go up on the North Shore, what do you see? Development. I have been trying to protect the remaining 20% of the 1854 treaty area that we have left. Now take this room as an example. This whole room is the 1854 treaty area. We take out 10 tables for townships. So we take out 10 tables. We take out 5 tables for land ownership. We take out 5 more tables for development. Take out another 5 tables for pollution. And we take out 5 more tables for the lakes that are impaired or started to become impaired. Where I'm going with this is that what little we have left of the 1854 treaty area will eventually be developed and or polluted. As more fish consumption advisories are posted on lakes within the 1854 treaty area over the next few years, this will eventually start to affect tourism. And that is a huge concern to me as the District 1 representative, because our casino relies heavily on tourism. The tribal government programs and tribal council rely on the funding that we receive from Fortune Bay Resort and Casino. This funding that we receive, we put it into the various programs and services for our band members. So you can see the domino effect. And that is scary to see. As I start to wind down my speech, on a personal note, since being in office since 2018, I have dealt with rumors, hearsay, gossip, and lies. One particular rumor that has stuck with me for a long time is that my late girlfriend, when she was alive, was writing my speeches for me. She was also writing my post on my group page for me. And when I heard that, I couldn't believe it. The simple truth is, I write my own speeches. I write my own posts on Facebook. I write my own news articles that I submit in a Bois Forte newspaper. The simple fact is, my first book is published. My second book is coming out in May. I'm a writer. I love to write. Now, with that being said, when you hear any gossip, rumor, lie, or hearsay, and you want to know the truth, please reach out to me, ask me. I'll be happy to sit down with you and discuss it and show you. Those of you that are running for tribal council, and those of you that will be elected, you will be standing in this very spot that I'm standing right now, looking out at our band members. Being a tribal leader, it's all about what is in the best interest of our band members, our employees, our businesses, and our future. Being a tribal leader is not about making business deals that only benefit a certain few, while the band members and tribe receive very little. I'm against that. In closing, I have stood with the tribal council in solidarity on issues, been outvoted, and stood alone on issues. Keep this in mind, this is very important. I have always kept you, the Bois Forte band members, at the center of my decision-making process, because my decision affects you as band members. With that being said, it has been an honor and a privilege serving you, the Bois Forte band members, as the District 1 representative. I hope that you'll continue to enjoy the rest of the 2026 Bois Forte State of the Band. Mio, miigwech.
Miigwech, Shane. Next, I present to you Melissa Wright, our Judicial Services Director. And Robbie Gogolai, our Maintenance Director. Robbie's in the back. Carol Burr is our Planning and Community Development Director. And Brian Whiteman Sr. is our Public Works Director. Up next, please welcome Tara Gizik, our Secretary Treasurer.
Just making sure I grab my glasses, you know how it is. And I wrote big too, and I still need these. Thank you for that introduction. I'll start with the language a little bit. Terra Indigena Cause. Adik Indundem. Asabikanez Agegan Indunjaba. Miigwech. Gibija Oma. My name is Tara. I am Caribou Clan. I'm from Nett Lake, and thank you for coming. Welcome to the State of the Band 2026 event. Bonjour relatives and elders, youth, community members, and friends. It's an honor to stand before you today. Before we begin, I want to extend a sincere thank you to everyone who made today possible. Our staff, volunteers, departments, the teams who organized the booths, and those who prepared the financial presentation. Your dedication brings this event to life. Let's offer them a huge round of applause. Okay, acknowledging our people. As we gather in strength, we also hold space for those who are hurting, for families mourning loved ones, for our relatives experiencing homelessness and struggling with mental health, for those battling addiction, and for every person walking the courageous path of recovery and healing. Can I get a round of applause for them also? My message is, we see you. We honor your strength. Recovery is a lifelong journey, and you're not alone. Our nation stands with you every step of the way. To our relatives in Minneapolis and throughout Minnesota who continue to face challenges like ICE on a daily basis, you are strong. To the MMIR families, advocates, and survivors across Minnesota, you are resilient. And we will continue to fight for truth, safety, and justice. I'll get into my speech here. A year of transformation. 2025 has been one of rebuilding, renewing, and redefining what financial responsibility and strong governance looks like for Bois Forte. Modern financial operations. This year, we successfully launched our new Tyler Technologies financial system, retiring the AS400 platform that was created in 1988. Our HR system came online just before that. These changes bring full digital capability, strong accuracy and transparency, faster workflows, better service for our staff and band members. For the first time in decades, we're operating on a financial foundation built for modern tribal governance. Can I get a round of applause for all the staff? Fixing the audit backlog. When I began my term, audits from 2018 forward were overdue. Today, audits through 2022 are complete, and we're on pace to be fully current by the end of 2026, as you've heard from other council members. We built stable audit calendars, strengthened our accounting team, and invested in specialized training. What once felt overwhelming is now under control, and the systems are in place. Expanding 105L leasing. A major milestone of our financial progress is the expansion of 105L leasing. In 2022, only 3 buildings were enrolled. Today, we have 21. Additional BIA and IHS submissions are moving forward. This program brings long-term federal dollars into our nation and helps sustain our buildings, programs and services which frees up tribal dollars normally spent on these programs. Contract support cost settlement. We secured the full settlement for IHS contract support costs for 2017 and 18, totaling over $1.2 million plus interest. Contract support costs have been maximized, so Bois Forte receives every dollar we are entitled to. Growing our financial reserves. For the first time in history, Bois Forte has built meaningful financial reserves. Through responsible medium risk investments, we have grown our reserve balance to $2.5 million, a critical step toward long-term stability and sovereignty. Major projects and economic growth. You've heard council members mention these. Across the reservation, major investments are underway or completed. A new DNR building is coming, Big Woods Transit Development, expanded water and sewer, Vermilion Maintenance Building and Food Shelf, Ishkade, which is a cannabis dispensary, which is celebrating 1 year of business, yay. Exploration of a cannabis grow facility. The Y Store loan is paid off and moving toward trust status. And SLOTCO funding supporting capital improvements at Fortune Bay Enterprises. These projects strengthen our community, our economy, provide new opportunities, and support future generations. Culture, language, and governance. We declared a tribal emergency for Anishinaabe-Mawin because the loss of our language is a threat to our identity. We provided seed funds of $500,000 and we are investing in revitalization and cultural programming. We strengthened financial protections with Resolution 1025, reaffirming the independent role of the Secretary Treasurer and ensuring accountability without interference. We also increased transparency by making all minutes public, something our citizens deserve. Leadership development. To strengthen our governance, we invested in leadership training and capacity building. Council has been trained in 2022, the first ever, and each new member receives training after that. We participated in national rebuilding. We got a $50,000 grant to pay our bills online and customer access tools. We did the elected leaders learning cohort. We did intermediate tribal financial and accounting. And we are currently working on a tribal council manual, which clearly defines roles of council and closely mirrors the employee personnel policy. The employees have to follow a set of policies. We should too. These investments ensure our leaders have the knowledge and tools to make wise, informed decisions and can be further held accountable. Looking forward, we move into 2026 and beyond, our focus remains clear. We move to strengthen financial stability, improve systems and efficiency, safeguard accountability, expand and diversify revenues, support healing, housing, and community well-being, and protect language, culture, and sovereignty. As an MCT leader, I'm working to get a secretarial election to remove the Secretary of Interior from the MCT Constitution so we can truly be sovereign and determine our own issues and resolve blood quantum on our own. Who better than to look at our own and solve our own? I'll be traveling to Washington, D.C. in a couple weeks on behalf of the band, and we'll be fighting for our nation, our sovereignty, and our water. Save the boundary waters. I had to get that in there. Where's Kathy? You know who I'll be battling with, Kathy. In closing, there is one lesson this past year has taught us. It is this: when we move together, we move farther. It takes more than one person to accomplish great things. It is created by a community that believes in each other and works side by side for something greater. To all of you who contribute to that vision every day, Chi-miigwech. To our staff, our program teams, presenters, volunteers, and our spiritual team and drum, Chimigwich. Let's give them one more round of applause, please. Thank you all for being part of this journey. Safe travels, Gigaguapaman and Chimigwich.
Miigwech, Tara. Before we have Carlos come up, we will introduce the last of our senior management team. First is Wendy Drift, our Duluth Urban Office Coordinator. Next is Jackie Wilson, our Minneapolis Urban Office Coordinator. And the next two ladies work hand in hand with council, myself, and senior management. First, we have Frances Nikki Irving, our Senior Executive Assistant. And finally, Regina Howell, our Senior Executive Assistant. Our final and main address this evening will be delivered by our Chairman, Carlos Hernandez. Please welcome Chairman Hernandez.
Miigwech, thank you all for joining us here tonight. I was supposed to feel like 20 minutes. And I think Shane helped us out with that right there. So thank you, Shane. I can shorten my speech up. Before I start, I did want to bring up something important for the band. Next week, we will be having our candidate forum for our upcoming candidates for District 2 representative and the Secretary Treasurer position. Wednesday and Thursday from 5:30. The doors open, and to answer everybody's question, the main one, dinner will be served. So March 11th, join us in that lake and hear the upcoming candidates answer questions written by people in the crowd. So make sure you get there early and you can suggest or submit questions to be read by the candidates and hear from the future of Bois Forte. So Wednesday, March 11th, Nut Lake, and March 12th at the Vermilion Social Center. Miigwech. All right, I'm going to hijack the state of the band for a minute. 3 minutes here. I wrote a speech. Back when I was going to get sworn in, we had some events in the community. And out of respect to the families, we postponed and basically put those off. But I did want to read everybody the speech that I wrote for my swearing in. I did have to fill 20 minutes, so this is one of the excuses I got for reading this speech. I really did want to read this to you all. Bonjour, Anin, Indanawi Maganag. Hello, my relatives. I stand before you today with a full heart and a deep respect for this responsibility. I am humbled to be sworn in as chairman for the Bois Forte Band of Chippewa. Miigwech to the people, to all who voted, all who prayed, and all who challenged me to grow. You made your voices heard, and I carry that trust with you, with seriousness and gratitude. I was not raised here my whole life, but Bois Forte has been my home for over 25 years. I came here to reconnect with our culture, to listen, to learn, and to be of service. Today, I'm honored to serve the community that helped raise me into the man I am. This chair is not about power. It is about responsibility. I do not sit above anyone. I sit among you as your relative, your neighbor, your worker, your servant. As chairman, I will advocate for fairness, transparency, and unity. I will work to open lines of communication with council, support our youth and elders, protect our sovereignty, and build an economy that supports all of us, not just a few. We are a people of strength, of survival, of spirit. Our language, our land, our teachings, these are not relics. They are living. And they must live on in our policies, our budgets, and our everyday decisions. There is a lot of work to do, and I will never pretend I can do it alone. It will take all of us, council, staff, community, both on and off the reservation. Moving together, speaking truth, listening deeply, and making decisions not for personal gain, but for the next 7 generations. To the previous leadership, miigwech for the work you have done. To our youth, this is your nation too. And to our ancestors, I pray my steps honor yours. Itinawen Dimen. We are all related. Let us move forward with clear eyes, good hearts, and strong hands. Miigwech, Bizandawiyeg. Thank you for listening. All right, now that I have officially been sworn in. Thank you all again for joining us today. Buju, Anin, in the Nawimaganag, Mishkawi Gabo, Indigenous Kas, Migisi and Dudem, Onamani Zaka Iganan, and Junjaba. Hello, my relatives. My name is Standing Strong. I'm Eagle Clan, and Lake Vermilion is my community. I'm also known as Carlos Hernandez, and I'm honored to serve as chairman of Boy Sport Band of Chippewa. Miigwech for being here tonight and for continuing to stay engaged in the work of our nation. When our people take time to listen, ask questions, and participate in our community, it strengthens our government and strengthens our future. When I stepped into this role in June, I understood that the responsibility of serving as chairman was not about one person. It is about working together as a council, supporting our employees, and always remembering that we serve the people of the Boys Fort Band. Tonight, I want to take time to reflect on what we have accomplished together over these past months and the direction we are continuing to move as a nation. The first thing I want to acknowledge is our tribal employees. Across every department, we have dedicated people who show up every day to serve our community. Whether they work in health services, education, natural resources, public works, administration, or at Fortune Bay, their work keeps our nation moving forward. Many of the accomplishments we talk about tonight are possible because of their commitment and professionalism. One of the priorities since June has been improving communication between leadership and the community. For many years, people have asked for more transparency and more opportunities to understand what their leadership is working on. That request is fair and it is important. We have been working to improve communication through updates, conversations with community members, and being able to listen, being available to listen. Community works best when people feel informed and when leadership is willing to hear the voices of the community. We have also worked to strengthen communication within our own government. When departments communicate with one another and leadership communicates clearly with staff, our entire organization functions better. Another important change we have been working on is strengthening the culture within our tribal government. For many years, employees shared concerns about micromanagement and decisions being revisited after the work has already been completed. When employees feel that their decisions may be overturned or second-guessed, it can create an environment where people hesitate to act or bring forward ideas. One of the commitments we made was to begin shifting that culture. Our departments are filled with talented professionals who are hired because of their knowledge and experience. They deserve the trust and support to do the work they were trained to do. We have been encouraging a workplace where employees are empowered to make decisions within their roles and where departments can move their work forward without unnecessary barriers. Another part of that change is respecting the work that comes before council. When staff bring forward recommendations, those recommendations are often the result of research, planning, and discussion within their departments. Our role as leadership is to listen, ask questions, and make responsible decisions. But it is also important that we respect the expertise and effort that our employees bring to their work. When employees feel trusted and supported, they do their best work. And when our employees succeed, our entire nation benefits. Another important conversation happening right now involves the future of the Minnesota Chippewa Tribe Constitution. Earlier this year, there was a discussion at the Tribal Executive Committee level about beginning the process to remove the Secretary of Interior from the decision-making processes of the bands. This would allow the member tribes of the Minnesota Chippewa Tribe to consider changes to our Constitution. After the vote was reviewed, it was determined that the motion did not pass as originally believed. Since that time, conversations have continued among the member tribes about how we can bring this forward again in a thoughtful and responsible way. Here at Bois Forte, we're continuing to move forward with those discussions. We currently have a constitutional reform meetings happening each month, and we encourage both members and descendants to participate in those conversations. This process belongs to the people. The voices of our community are important as we consider the future of what our government should look like. As this work continues, we will also need delegates who are willing to travel to the Minnesota Chippewa Tribe quarterly meetings to provide updates on the progress being made here at Bois Forte. These discussions will shape the future of our nation, and participation from our community will be essential. The future of our nation should never be decided in empty rooms. It should be shaped by the voices of our people. So please, I hope you guys show up. Self-governance and sovereignty are not just words. They are responsibilities. Our nation has always believed that our people should have an opportunity to help shape their own future. Another area we continue to focus on is strengthening our economic foundation. Fortune Bay remains the most important economic driver for the Bois Forte Band. The success of the casino helps support programs, services, and employment for many of our people. We continue working with leadership and management to ensure that Fortune Bay remains strong and competitive so that the benefits of our enterprise continue supporting our nation for generations. Another exciting development has been the continued growth of Ishkade, our tribally owned cannabis dispensary. Ishkade represents a new opportunity for economic diversification. The response from our community and customers has been strong, and the Tribal Council continues working through the next phase of development. We are currently evaluating the direction of our future grow facility. A grow operation will allow us to produce our own products, create additional jobs, and support both our current dispensary and potential future retail opportunities across the state. Infrastructure and community building are also important roles of building a strong nation. We have continued work on projects that support our services and strengthen our community. This includes progress on facilities such as the Big Woods Transit Garage and the Department of Natural Resources building that will include space for a wild rice storage. Wild rice has sustained our people for generations, and protecting that tradition is part of protecting who we are as Anishinaabe people. Housing is another area we know is deeply important to our community. Many families have shared concerns about housing availability and stability. Addressing housing challenges requires coordination between housing programs, leadership, and outside partners. While these issues cannot be solved overnight, we remain committed to continuing the work needed to create more opportunities for safe and stable housing for our families. A strong community begins with strong homes. There are moments in this job when I pause and I think about the generations who came before us. Our ancestors stood on this same land. They harvested this rice, fished these waters, and raised their families here long before any of us were born. They carried our language, our traditions, and our identity through times that were not always easy. Sometimes I think about the responsibility we carry today. We are only here for a short time, but the decisions that we make will shape the future of Bois Forte for generations. Our ancestors protected this nation for us. Now it is our turn to protect it for those who will come after us. And sometimes remembering our history means remembering the parts that are difficult. Recently, we received information connected to the Genoa U.S. Indian School in Nebraska. Through ongoing research into the federal boarding school era, 3 children from our community were identified at a burial site connected to that school. Their names were Raymond Burnett, Edgar Marshall, and Mary Mentowash. We speak their names so they are never forgotten. These were not just names in a historical record. These were children of our nation. They were relatives who were taken from their homes during a painful time in our history when many Native children were sent far away from their families and communities. For many families, the stories of the boarding school era were never fully known. Discoveries like this can bring a small measure of truth and closure for the families and descendants who have carried their history. Tonight, we remember these children and honor them as part of our nation. In our hearts and our community, they will always have a seat at the table. We remember them not only as names in history, but as children of our nation whose spirits remain part of our people. Looking ahead, there's still much work to do. Economic diversification will remain a priority. We must continue strengthening our infrastructure. Infrastructure. I should have grabbed some water before I came up here. Addressing housing challenges and creating spaces where our community can gather, learn, and grow together. Miigwech. Miigwech. The work we do today is not only for this moment. It is for the next 10 years, the next 20 years, and the generations who will carry our nation forward. When I think about the future of Boysport, I see a strong nation. I see people. I see thriving businesses creating opportunity for our people. I see our language spoken more often. I see young leaders stepping forward with confidence. And I see a community that continues to stand together through every challenge we face. Before I close tonight, I would also like to take a moment to say thank you. Over the past week, many people in our community have reached out with prayers, condolences, and kind words after the passing of my mother. From the bottom of my heart, which it means more than I can put into words to know that I have the support of this community during a difficult time. Your kindness, your prayers, and your support meant the world to me and my family. We honor the generations who came before us. We carry the responsibility today. And together we will build a future worthy of the generations still to come. Miigwech for your time tonight. Miigwech Bizendawiyek.
Miigwech, Carlos, and the entire council. Yep, yep. Can you turn can we turn that off? Thank you. At this time, Makade Benesi will be singing an honor song for our tribal council. So tribal council members, can you please come to the drum? Miigwech Makade Benesi for that honor song for our tribal council members. In closing, I would like to extend my gratitude to Nikki Irving, Regina Howe, Randy Long, Eddie Chavers, as well as every Boys Fort employee who assisted with today. And let's give them a round of applause. Miigwech to Jalen Strong and Makade Benesi. Thank you to all of our programs and services that hosted booths today. And thank you to everyone joining us in person and online this evening. May you enjoy the rest of your night, travel safely, stay well, and take care of one another. So to get dinner started, I would like to ask the senior management team to help serve the elders. If you need assistance with a plate, whether you're elder, whether you just need assistance, please raise your hand. If you are elderly and you would like to serve yourself,